Welcome again, Maxim here, and in this video I will talk about AMPS, how to get the first one, whose services are needed to assemble more of them, and what are the features of the individual AMP components. AMPS are weapons powered by the energy of the void, hidden in the operators. They have their own energy source, which regenerates automatically after a while after being used. This energy pool and the rate of its regeneration can be improved in the operator's school. You will get first AMP after completing the following quests: Saya's Vigil, Second Dream, and War Within. After completing them, talk to Onko on Cetus. Then you will receive Mode AMP. This starting weapon is the only one that doesn't have alternative fire mode. It fires a continuous beam of energy, which consumes ammunition quite quickly. The range is 32 meters, but you can create many different AMPs. Blueprints for their parts can be found at Onko's and Little Duck's. You buy them from Syndicate's Vox Solaris and the Quills. Points for these syndicates you can get for items that drop from bosses on Place of Eidolon and Orb Valles. I will cover that topic in dedicated video. Now let's focus on AMPs, as they are necessary to fight those bosses. In each AMP you can insert a special arcane. However, if you buy special adapter from Cavalero on the Zariman, you will be able to add second one at the same time. These arcanes are sold by vendors I mentioned before: Onko, Little Duck and Cavalero. Using arcanes is very profitable, because they can significantly increase the AMP statistics or modify how they work. But first, let's discuss what the assembly process looks like. Each AMP has 3 parts: Prism, Scaffold and Brace. Prism determines the primary shot, Scaffold alternative one, and Brace gives additional properties, such as higher critical or status chance, or for instance AMP efficiency. If you want to earn mastery points from AMPs and at the same time bring out their full potential and maximize their stats, don't forget the standard modular weapon procedure. Build parts, assemble weapon, level it up to level 30, and then guild. This improves the stats of the weapon and lets you earn mastery points. Onko's assortment includes 12 blueprints for AMP parts and a blueprint for entire mode AMP. Little Duck has these 9 blueprints. Each part has its exact name, but due to the fact that once AMP parts in shops offers were divided into very specific levels, players began to use numbers instead of full names. It is such a convenient solution that DE itself unofficially preferred to use numbers rather than full names. Over time, the way how items were displayed in shops has changed, and now their numerical nomenclature is not as obvious anymore. However, some players and DE still prefer to use numbers, so the materials presented here will of course contain them both. And now we can move on to how individual AMPs work. The presented sets will be assembled according to their levels. Let's start with AMP 111. Raplak Prism, Pencha Scaffold, Clapcrab Race. The basic shot is a beam of energy with a range up to 100 meters. An alternative shot is a charge energy pulse up to 40 meters. Brace from this set increases the AMP energy pool by 40 points. AMP 222. Schwag Prism, Shrakson Scaffold, Jutni Brace. The basic shot is a wave like a shot from Arcaplasmor. It reaches 34 meters and it's 4 meters wide. An alternative shot is a projectile that creates a spherical explosion. It flies up to 15 meters and explosion range is 6 meters. Jutni in this set reduces the AMP energy regeneration delay by 1 second. AMP 333. Granmu Prism, Klebrick Scaffold, Lorien Brace. The basic shot is a series of 3 shots from a grenade launcher, with an explosion radius of 5 meters. The alternative shot is a beam of energy that finds enemies in 26-meter range and stick to them. Lorien Brace increases status and critical chance by 12%. AMP 444. Run Prism, Pat Scaffold, Anspata Brace. Basic shot are automatic energy pulses reaching enemies up to 106 meters. Alternative shot is a disc that bounces off solid surfaces until it hits enemies. The Unspata brace adds 20 points to the amp energy pool, reduces the amp's charge delay by a half of a second, and increases the charge by 45 points per second. AMP 555 Cantic Prism, Exart Scaffold, Suo Brace. Primary Shot is a series of 3 projectiles that have a range up to 100 meters. Alternative Shot uses all available energy and creates a series of powerful projectiles that explode on enemy or surface contact and deal damage in a 5-meter radius. Suo Brace adds 100 points to the amp's energy capacity and reduces its energy regeneration delay by 2 seconds. AMP 666 Lega Prism, Disc Scaffold, Plaga Brace. The basic shot is similar to Ignis, a flamethrower. Long range, up to 28 meters, and a narrow firing angle. Alternative Shot is a grenade launcher that fires a single projectile. Explosion radius is 8 meters, and after the explosion, additionally smaller charges are spread in random directions. Plaga Brace reduces amp energy capacity by 20 points, but also reduces the amp energy regeneration delay by 1.5 seconds. AMP 777 Clamora Prism, Propa Scaffold, and Certus Brace. Primary Shot is also a flamethrower, but with shorter range, up to 15 meters, and wider firing angle. An alternative shot is an energy sphere that flies few meters and explodes, dealing massive damage. It is a little bit problematic, because explosion causes stagger on the operator. However, you can avoid it by hiding in the void, by crouching. This attack is quite difficult to use, but in skillful hands it can deal really impressive damage over a large area, 9 meters explosion radius. Certus Brace increases the critical chance by 20%. And the last amp is Sirocco. You will get it after the new War story quest. This weapon doesn't seem to have an alternate shot. The basic shot are energy pulses reaching up to 150 meters. This amp has a magazine. It doesn't consume energy of amps. When you reload, you can press the reload button again in the middle of that process. This will end the reload immediately, and the amp will enter its second fire mode. Next fired projectile will deal much more damage. It also reaches up to 150 meters. At the end, some general tips about using and assembling amps. From time to time, you will notice that the target you are shooting is surrounded by a translucent sphere. It is a bullet attractor, which is an amp status. Opponent in this state becomes an easier target. About assembling amps. You can choose any part you want, pick a fire style and additional stats you like. Personally, I used a lot AMP 777, but switched to 177, as I wanted as high damage as possible on my amp, in both short and long range. To achieve this, I'm also using Eternal Onslaught and Eradicate from Zariman. They combine perfectly with Madurai skills. And that's all in this video. Good luck with assembling amps. If you have any questions, please type them in the comment section or visit one of my streams. Link in the description. See you next time. Bye.